What's up, everyone? Tip Man with the Resistance.
And this person over here is Lucid. Nice to see y'all. Been
Yep.
like 3 weeks.
We got Genevieve, Cursed Wolf, Jenna, Ezra, Grandmaster Revan on tonight. And now Jenna's gone.
Bye.
Bye.
Nobody cares.
So,
Yay!
our first topic, Lucid, would you care to cover?
Sure, just scroll down so I can read it real quick.
What the fuck is this?
China announced on Monday an 8.1% defense budget increase for 2018, giving the world's largest armed forces a boost after spending slowed in the previous 2 years. Beijing will spend 1.11 trillion yuan, $175 billion on its military, according to the budget report presented before the opening session of the annual National People's Congress. The outlay compares with a 7% increase last year's and 7.6% in 2016, which marked the first time in 6 years that spending growth has not in double figures. China spent $151 billion on the People's Liberation Army last year, the second largest defense budget in the world, but still 4 times less than the $603 billion U.S. outlay, according to the International Institute for Strategic Studies, London-based think tank. The defense budget increase has roughly kept pace with China's national economic output in recent years. The economy grew by 6.9% in 2017, and the government said Monday it will target growth of around 6.5% in 2018. We can expect that China's defense budgets will continue to be subordinated to and coordinated with China's economic performance. It will likely not be over-militarized, said James Char, military expert at Singapore's Nanyang Technological Institute.
Okay, we'll close that.
That pretty much sums it up. Basically, they spent a bunch of money on their military, to build up their military, but still not as much, which we are 4 times more spending into our military than the second largest in the world. So we're the first largest. The second largest is 4 times less than we are. So that just goes to show what we put into our military as opposed to...
Because it has been nearly a decade since we've had the Large Hadron Collider, and I believe that they just acquired their version of the Large Hadron Collider.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to let Lucid read the other article so he can go handle his business.
Yep.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Okay, DOJ to report to knock Trump's favorite FBI foil over what happened, over the leak that happened, Trump's own campaign. Close that, please. Okay, the Justice Department's top oversight official is set to release a report slamming on FBI official President Donald Trump has portrayed as Hillary Clinton's stooge for allegedly authorizing leaks of information that hurt Clinton's campaign. Trump and his supporters have used the fact that former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's wife ran for a state Senate seat as a Democrat to paint him as a Democrat partisan out to get Trump, despite irrefutable evidence that the Bureau's public actions before the election actually hurt Clinton. Trump defenders on Capitol Hill and on Fox News have spun up a narrative alleging that the FBI leaked information ahead of the election to damage Trump. Not surprising. The long-anticipated report from the Justice Department's Inspector General, likely to be released this month or next, could further undermine that already ridiculous claim. Trump and his allies have suggested that McCabe leaked information that hurt Trump and helped Clinton, but the IG's forthcoming report is set to reveal the opposite. McCabe's authorized leaks that damaged Clinton and aided Trump. The IG, who has been looking into the FBI's handling of the probe since before Trump's inauguration, will criticize McCabe for authorizing discussions with the Wall Street Journal reporter for an October 30th, 2016 story that suggested President Barack Obama's Justice Department was improperly pressuring the FBI to drop a probe of the Clinton Foundation, the New York Times reported on Thursday night. The October 30th, 2016 WSJ story portrays McCabe as caught between FBI agents who wanted to push the Clinton Foundation investigation and Justice Department officials upset the probe was being pursued too close to the election. In the story, a person close to Mr. McCabe, and that's in quotation marks, so we can only assume that either is a mistress or his wife. Likely bureau lawyer and senior McCabe advisor Lisa Page revealed that a Justice Department official called McCabe on August 12th and was very, I quote, very pissed off that the New York office was pursuing the Clinton Foundation investigation.
Okay, thoughts, ladies and gentlemen?
I think people need to stop making such a big deal about Trump. Like, seriously, they need to just get on board. I mean, he's president. They can't really do anything about it. And have a good night.
I saw something on the cover of a magazine, and I think Hillary might run for president in Trump's midterm. I mean, Oprah might run during Trump's midterm elections.
Yeah,
I doubt that.
I heard that too.
Grandmaster said I doubt, and somebody said I heard that.
I heard it.
I heard it, but it's not been confirmed yet because it hasn't come out of her mouth yet.
She's made insinuations.
She's still on the fence about it.
She's still on the fence. But
I doubt that she would run because there's no reason for her to run. Period. I mean, if you look at it now, it's been what, a year since the inauguration.
Yeah.
I mean, we've dealt this Russian collusion shit for almost 2 fucking years.
Of course, they also said Michelle Obama would run too.
Yeah.
It would also be very critical of her because she did point out that Trump wasn't a politician and therefore shouldn't be president. She's not a politician and probably should also not be president. So it would be very hypocritical if she ran. And I think she said that she wouldn't after she said that she would. And she wouldn't win even if she did.
I don't know. I mean, she's got a very large fan base, so it stands to reason that she would stand a very good chance in the running. Whether or not she would win is one of those things that yet to be determined.
Let's keep in mind that
I'm not a fan.
actually has political background. He ran twice already. He won the second time. Also, next time. So I doubt that she would try it against. I think she might try to make herself a little more. It'll probably be up on call to try and call competition. So I doubt that try to run her. I just don't.
Yeah, well, if Oprah ran against Hillary, freaking Hillary would fucking railroad Oprah. That'd be an interesting fight, though. That would be so fucking interesting. Especially all the fans of Oprah would be saying that Hillary is racist and shit. That would be so fucking funny.
It'd be the ultimate cat fight.
It would be.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that
that'd be pretty metric there. I mean, yeah, think about it though. I mean, these two giants of whatever it is, they're trying to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oprah is the giant of virtue signaling on TV and selling out, and Hillary is the giant of manipulating big corporations and giving away nuclear weapons to foreign countries.
Among other things.
Sounds pretty accurate? I think so.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
No argument.
she's been a habitual liar since, I mean, for the last 45 years.
I mean,
Since Watergate.
going to run Hillary again, because it's almost a granted that she's going to lose. They thought she was going to win this time, and she didn't. So I don't think it would be their best bet to try to run Hillary. Also,
No.
I don't know why we're talking
Third
about...
time won't be a charm. Third time will not be a charm. It'll be hell.
I mean, the thing is, right now, all of the ammunition needs to be centered around making sure that the Democratic and liberal-controlled media is absolutely and totally destroyed and decimated, from the inside and the outside. There are people like Alex Jones have people like Fox and Milo Yiannopoulos, Steven Crowder debunking them all of the time. And that needs to keep coming as hard and as fast as it possibly can, because they've already tried to censor people on YouTube, and that was a huge thing. I think we've already been over that.
Yeah.
They have to censor everyone and anyone who isn't in the picked and chosen media outlets that promote Democrat, socialist, and communist kind of ideals. And what they're really trying to do is paint all the other YouTubers. Anyone who has any type of ground, they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Whether you're conservative, libertarian, trying to get rid of you. Because it's a lot easier to get rid of someone who doesn't have any airplay.
True that. True that.
Because if nobody can hear you talk, because again, when they're doing without the jump, they've given them 2 strikes on YouTube. The third one will come down. They try to retract that and then they put it back, and it's a big mess. The thing is, they're actively trying to silence someone. That way they can say anything they want.
Yeah, there's already about 30 channels that were taken down.
Yeah, no,
About
they're
30.
trying to silence anyone that doesn't agree with their narrative. That way, you have the evidence to debunk them, and that's what they're really afraid of. Is they're afraid of people like him who go in and debunk all the things that CNN and MSNBC, all the things they say happen, and they never happened. But the thing is, most people just go to one source for their information and nowhere else. So it's very easy to brainwash the populace when no one is factual.
Yeah. Well, what I'm wondering is why a class action lawsuit hasn't taken place on the grounds of the First Amendment.
No, Alex has already said that he was going to file a lawsuit against CNN and MSNBC. Because, I mean, he's either from these people who are being censored, which I'm very excited to see go down.
Yeah, well, if it winds up being a class action lawsuit, I'm jumping on board with that shit.
I don't know if it's a class action lawsuit. I know it is a lawsuit. But I think it's just against
it might
him.
grow into a class action lawsuit because Alex Jones is not the only target. And,
no, he's not.
You know, we've been targeted. Other activists have been targeted. You know, there have been so many people on YouTube who were getting substantially high views, and now their subscribers and their views are dwindling. Like, I had videos that I had several videos that got hundreds of thousands of views.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm in the single and double digits. How the fuck did that happen? Despite
because it has a reverse effect when you try to censor when you try to censor someone, it has a reverse effect. When people realize that information is being withheld from them, they're automatically going to try even harder to go and get that information.
Yep.
So when people are being lied to openly and blatantly, people are going to try to find out why they're being lied to, and they're going to go look for the truth. It has a very reverse effect, which is something that CNN probably didn't count on in the beginning.
Sure.
It's definitely showing now. Now he has around 3 million subscribers on YouTube alone, and then whoever else, and that's only, he says, only 20% of his viewer base. So it gives you an idea of just how far his little his tentacles, as he likes to call them, are going out.
Yeah, I just find it to be an amazing coincidence that my views just magically dropped to double digits.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm necessarily a fan of Alex Jones. I mean, he presents viable information here and there. He's very much a chauvinist anymore, more than anything. But he does expose a great deal of truth. And this YouTube issue...
the same thing like the other conservative people say. He just does it for longer. He has like a 23, 32-hour live stream going on. like he takes more time with it, but it does become ranty. If you want really concise information, just
Watch the what?
do what?
You said if I want really concise information, watch, and then you cut out.
Oh, go watch Stephen Crowder. He's a
Steven Crowder.
Stephen Crowder, he is part of that, him and Milo and Katrina Hoff Summers, they did a talk at a college where Stephen Crowder really did a number on a couple of FEWs and shit.
he destroyed them, fairly easily too, like a lot better than anyone else could. He's a lot more concise.
That was when they had that Jigglypuff chick there, all ranting.
Hey, Robbie, how's your phone doing? Are they working now?
Yeah, no, Christina Hoff Summers was there. That's the thing. It's not like they exclude people who have different opinions. It's just,
Yeah. But there's a one in the audience that they donned her as Jigglypuff, and it was she was just totally put in her place by Miss Summers and shit. That was like everybody did. Mookie did put her in her place.
that's old stuff. It's funny though.
Interesting world we live in, guys.
I am waiting for allowance to speak about the other topic.
Go for it.
Okay, everybody already knows that Hillary sold uranium to the Russians. I have a hypothesis that Russia sold some of the uranium to surrounding countries. And in addition to loop back around and basically state that uranium was sold to Kim Jong-il, because I don't remember whether it's north or south, it doesn't matter right at this second, but Kim Jong-il obtained uranium in order to get his nuclear devices. And I would say that China, I would hypothesize that China gave some uranium also. But they went for a different cause. They turned their uranium into uranium magnets in order to power their Large Hadron Collider, because as we all remember from science class, the Large Hadron Collider runs off of the electric properties of magnets.
Yeah. Okay, so there's.
And I actually have a page pulled up right now that proves that uranium magnets exist.
I mean, well, let's get into okay, that's theoretical. Okay, what we do know is that so far publicly we don't know how to turn into more.
I can really not hear Israel at all.
Yeah, he's cutting in and out bad. But one question that I have for you, Kirst, what evidence is there that leads you to suspect that Russia has sold their uranium to other countries? I mean, yeah, the Koreans got some uranium, but where's there the evidence that it might have come from Russia? Like, what sources are saying? What gives that inclination? What do you have to back this up? Crickets.
Well, I mean, think about it. You know, I mean, who needs uranium?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we know that Korea got
Russia,
uranium. What we don't know is where they got it.
Iran, and you got a couple of other countries that need uranium.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you think about it.
Well, needing and obtaining uranium are two different things.
You know people sell stuff to the highest bidder. I just realized my microphone was muted.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that.
Barely still.
Well, we can hear you now. So, what evidence is there to suggest that Russia gave uranium to Korea or any country?
I was just hypothesizing on the fact that they can make uranium magnets, and they probably figured out how to create a large hadron collider, which is the reason why they've dumped so much in defense, because that's where you would have to dump the money for that kind of project publicly.
And not just that, it can also be used to create like dark matter and shit.
And technically, it takes at least a little more than $1 trillion, and that's what they're projected to accumulate to just start up the project.
Huh.
So that's my hypothesis off of the projected amount of income that they're going to accumulate. That is my hypothesis from their projected income they will make.
Okay, so for the record, it's just theory based on available
But you have to
evidence.
think. Based on available knowledge, yes, because you have to think. Every country wants to catch up. Every country wants to be in first class, using a quote from one of the articles. And he wants to be first class. In America, we know of, I think, 3 large hadron colliders in our possession.
Yeah.
So I don't even think China has one.
Well, okay, but let me say this. Do you know how nuclear fusion works? Do you know why we don't have nuclear fusion engines now? It's because we haven't figured out a way to take the energy that we use to make it work and make more energy off of it. That's how fusion works. There has to be an efficient way to make it work.
Fission instead of fusion, Israel.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. The same thing applies. We don't have a way to turn the energy that we use to make that machine work to get the energy out of it. You can't tell me North Korea has found a way to do that. Because we have.
Well, from the knowledge that I know, there's a large hadron collider in New York City that basically circulates a quarter of the city, which that's basically a circular magnet.
Okay, well, if that's something that's not public, and
that's something that can be looked up and researched and pointed out to you on a large-scale map.
Okay, well, find me a link. Regardless, it's not something that people use all the time, and as we know, nobody uses a hadron collider. Nobody uses one. Okay, because it's just not efficient. More people use nuclear energy than they use hadron colliders, and right now, all we can do is smash particles together and get a little bleep on the radar. We can't really get anything more than that. Huh?
That's what we are allowed to know.
Okay, but I'm going off of knowledge that we are allowed to know for now. Okay, we can get into theoretical physics later. But for now, I doubt that North Korea has access to the technology that we're not even, basically. We're probably like 10, 20 years away from it. North Korea.
North Korea is still behind after 60 years, brother.
Yeah, no, they're way behind.
They've been behind for 60 years.
If we're behind, they're behind. No, I know about that one.
No, we're ahead. They're behind.
Well, we're not ahead as in we don't really have it.
Check it out. Look at the Navy. The Navy is only, 20 ships? Their tanks, their planes, their boats are all from the Korean War, the Vietnam War. That's all they got.
You know, they're behind. Yeah. That's why I don't believe it. I know China has been supplying North Korea, and we've been trying to stop that. And that's probably how they got nuclear weapons in the first place. You know, that's the one that we know about.
Oh, that's the same one turned on its side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, the one that we know about, and I think is only one of them. I mean, there's more, but the main one that people is the Large Hadron Collider, and I think that's somewhere in the UK. Could be wrong with that. I'll look it up. But that's the one that we know about. Again, could be more, could be less. It could be less. This could be more.
I know of 3.
Okay,
we got one.
Here's detailed.
I know we have several. CERN Lab? Yeah, France? Okay. I'll look it up. Point is, I don't think North Korea has the capabilities.
technologically to get that working. I just don't think they could. Not without
You're talking about China.
They've got a car
Well,
without.
China's
They've got a car without an engine.
China steals technology from us. Keep that in mind. Everything they have, they got it from us. They don't really invent anything.
Correct.
They stole stealth technology from us already. They stole nuclear technology from, I think they stole from the Russians, and we gave shit to the Russians. Thank you, Hillary. And, I mean, they don't really design anything of their own. That's why we say it's cheap Chinese shit, because it's not really quality.
Look at all that these days.
So that's kind of the deal. If China has anything, it's probably a prototype. Nothing like we have a full version. Like we do have one that works. We just have to find a way of making it work efficiently. China probably has a prototype. And that's probably it.
I know from first-hand experience that anything could look good on paper, but until you actually put it into practice and actually build it and use it, you can't see whether or not it's actually going to work, and if it does work, what flaws it's going to have.
No, it's a massive scale project. You have to keep that secret from the public. You have to, the point of making those big machines is to minimize the technology some point in the future and use it for, like, space travel.
Yes.
Because it has the ability to warp the space around it. Leading to interdimensional travel or just wormholes that generate from the field around it. Theoretical physics, again.
You're talking about the idea that space is the thing that is moving.
Yeah, no, what it can do, and NASA's already worked on some blueprint schematics for this already, but when we can, we will. When we can minimize and efficiently create a fission reactor that we can put in a spaceship, what it does is it creates a field around the ship itself that can bend space and time, creating its own kind of wormhole. And it can go faster than light, hundreds of thousands of times. And using that engine, you could probably get to Proxima Centauri in like a week.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be done in like 50 years by technical standpoints that we're allowed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Nazis were already working on technology that was kind of like that already,
Yeah,
so
Nazi Bell.
That's the Nazi Bell.
Yeah.
The Nazi Bell.
Yeah, the Nazis were working on anti-gravitational engines and shit like that, like way before.
And I spoke of the Nazi Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Nazi
is,
Bell was
but I know
just
they're
one
moving.
of numerous fucking pet projects that the Nazis had. I mean, they had.
They were working on a lot of projects from that to try to find the Holy Grail. They tried to use some kind of UFO kind of technology and shit, which was
Hitler also tried to search Antarctica.
Yeah, he did. He also went and took the statue of Cleopatra.
Yes, he did.
Basically, like, worshipped it. It was weird. That's what he did. I don't know, he was on cocaine, like, for the entirety of the war, so I wouldn't put too much...
He was on plenty of opiates.
Yeah, he was quite doped up for the majority of that war.
that dude was more than Courtney Love.
So, I wouldn't put my money on the fact that he really had anything. He might have had something, but it wasn't anything he had. It was probably something the generals had, and they took it to the grave with them. So, the thing is that
Welcome back.
again, I don't know we're allowed to have what I love now.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to wonder what technological advances we have made or are currently making. I mean, we've
Yeah, no, again, what we're allowed to know, and some of it is for purposes that obviously just safety reasons, and others are just probably greed and selfishness.
Well, I mean, shit. Think of it. this way. I mean, if you had a fucking time machine and you were the only one who had it,
Yeah, you're not gonna go around telling people.
yeah, you're not gonna go.
No.
You're not gonna go shopping around the specs for it.
Mum's the word.
Exactly.
Probably wouldn't even use it.
You're gonna call fucking. You're gonna pull a Doc Brown on that shit. You're gonna do your fucking thing, and nobody's
Yeah.
gonna know the wiser.
And throw it in a DeLorean and just leave.
Oh no!
Yeah,
If,
that's
if
insane.
there's gonna be a time machine, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be more along the lines of the TDE from Terminator.
That's us.
It's probably gonna be something like that. A large room that with a machine that requires an exponential amount of energy to power in order to punch a hole in space-time, as well as to calibrate.
I wouldn't worry about it because you don't know if the multiverse theory exists, and if it does, you're not going back to the same timeline you came from.
Nah.
And you're lucky to even go to the forward of your personal timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah, you wouldn't be coming back to the same place.
You would literally have to calculate your destination based on where the destination is in terms of planetary rotation, the planet's rotation around the sun, our position in the solar system, the position of the solar system within the universe, and the position of the universe within the multiverse. And the position of the multiverse.
Terms, you have to be able to understand 60 logic.
Yes. Because you would not only have to calculate your landing destination, like say I wanted to fucking jump 50 years in the past to this very location, this very spot. Well, this very spot is not going to be in this. Is not the same place it was 50 years ago in relation to planetary rotation, solar system rotation, expanding of the universe, and so on and so forth. You're going to wind up in the middle of fucking space and your head's going to explode.
Yeah, exactly, because you'll wind up in the vacuum of space. You are very correct in that.
I would probably be at Taco Bell.
You would land on a Taco Bell.
Yeah, I would.
On Taco Tuesday, which is the only day I give a fuck. Tuesday is quite literally the only day I give a fuck. Any other day of the week, I don't give a fuck.
Taco Tuesday.
Exactly, man. Any other day, it's
which
like...
would roughly be about 20 trillion light years. Oh, which way is the sun right now? That way. Roughly that way. 20 million light years, 20 trillion light years roughly that way.
Well, have we even been able to calculate our exact position in the universe? In the galaxy? Let alone in the universe, or let alone the multiverse? Fuck no, we haven't got that far. Thus, like, we are not gonna...
Very true, Tin Man, but if you are able to lock onto anything that replicates yourself, you can find yourself within each multiverse.
Yeah, but that's providing you're traveling to a time in which you currently existed. Now let's look at the let's use the Terminator theology. Kyle Reese was sent back to a time, what was it, roughly 20 years before he was even conceived? So where is there a genetic marker to pinpoint his location in that time, unless you're talking about the nut in his dad's pants?
No, that's talking teleportation through time, because you're technically deatomizing a entity and reatomizing them at a different location. Which essentially creates a clone, which is why I don't like teleportation.
Yeah. And stuff that's still technically on the drawing board, it's all theory. I mean, it's sound theory, makes perfect sense. Until you actually try to take the plan off the paper and put it into practical application.
And you find out it's extremely painful.
Oh yeah. I'm sure probably is. Then of course it could just be fucked up like that fucking meme that I fucking shared with Patrick yesterday. Scotty, don't beat me up. I'm taking a shit.
Dear God.
Deatomizing someone would probably be the worst feeling in the world.
Correct, and reatomization is like third-degree burns.
It's like a
That
fax
would not
machine.
feel good.
It's like a fax machine. Breaks down all the data and then reconstructs it. And that's why you get errors in the
Perfect
same copy.
explanation.
Imagine being a human fax machine.
Imagine being the one faxed.
Ah!
Pretty much. Imagine being the piece of paper.
Being faxed. It's not good. No, I don't like that.
Suck.
I felt a piece of paper when it comes through us as fax. It's the paper is really, really warm.
Well,
Now think about it this way. Since we have the understanding of a fax machine and you are technically the piece of paper, what happens is whenever you are sent, for that set period of time that you're gone, you're technically a clone. Whenever you come back through, you are the warm piece of paper, which is a third copy of yourself. Which means you are cloned twice in the process of teleportation.
And if you can live through that, then you've got to be superhuman.
Well, you wouldn't. Your memories can't be cloned. So you would basically be a slobbering, drooling infant. It looks like a man.
in theory.
Most times that's
that's one of those
that's
things
what happens
you'd
to
actually
people who
have
are
to
not
be able to
powerful
pull it
enough
off
or
in
have
order
the
to
ability
actually
to
find out
endure
for
it.
sure. You'd actually have to send yourself through the machine.
Yeah.
And see. I mean, that beyond that, until you've actually tested it out, you're never going to know. I'm thinking
Who wants to go first?
the only way to achieve practical time travel or teleportation would be literally to punch a hole in space-time from one location to another, even if it's seconds into the future or seconds into the past. Literally an instantaneous hole that your body is just thrust through.
I mean,
We'll explain it like a river. A river ebbs and flows. So technically, we're taking the ebb and the flow and we're combining it at the same time in order to make a wormhole or Eisenstein or whatever it's technically called, bridge to that specific destination from your viewpoint.
Yeah, and it would have to be
Which is
literally
the
an
way to do it
instantaneous
without
jump.
the extreme amount of pain.
Yeah, it would literally have to be opening a hole in the space-time continuum, in the fabric of space and time, and literally stepping through. Or being thrown through.
Which is the minimum requirement for that is at least 2 times the speed of light.
At least.
Which is why Kyle Reese landed 2 stories above the ground. And in the book, his buddy landed 20 feet underground and suffocated and died.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yep. 2 people were set back. One dude materialized in the air and landed on his ass. And I'm not sure which hurt worse, traveling through time or that impact from that fall.
No, being...
You're muted. Still can't hear you. He's gone.
What?
He's restarting.
Robbie, what do you got to add?
I ain't got shit to add.
I love you, Bobby.
Being teleported inside of a dense object hurt the worst.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's fear. That's why he doesn't teleport where he can't see.
Yep.
I thought he couldn't teleport where he can't see just because he couldn't do it.
No, it's out of choice.
Okay.
He could always do it. It's just if you can't see where you're going, you can teleport into a freaking wall or something. You never know what you're gonna find.
Exactly, that's his fear.
Wait a minute, how do we know what teleporting feels like?
We don't. It's just theorizing.
Because
We don't. It has never been done yet.
we know physics, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
physics. Even at that, a primitive understanding of physics as far as the grand construct of the universe in correlation with the multiverse, we have a very limited understanding. Like, literally, we've learned to count to 10 in terms of the infinite dynamics of physics and astrophysics.
That saying that we've learned to count to 10 though.
Yeah. If we've even gotten that high.
Exactly, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
No,
That's putting it
I'll explain
nicely.
it off of Tin Man's scale. Basic humans have barely achieved number 2. Most humans that have at least awakened have achieved number 3. If you've gone beyond awaken, you've achieved no greater than 5. To explain it in a version Tin Man from what he said it, to explain it in numbers so that it's understandable.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a very detailed mind. Like I have a tendency to say things in a way that people have difficulty understanding.
And yes, 10 is the tier that you need to do to have full understanding of all universes and multi-universes at the same exact correlation of understanding.
Yep.
Even I haven't even touched 6. I've barely touched 5, and I can't even count 5 because I'm more at 4.7 than 5.
Yep. And even at that point, you're still probably at the point where you still don't know shit. Like, you know a lot, but in the grand scheme of
Correct.
things, you really don't know shit.
Because I can do specific universes. I have no understanding of the multi-universe as a whole.
Yeah. Or if there even is a multiverse. Or anything beyond a multiverse.
Correct. Or are we all just in a magnificently sized marvel that's technically extremely tiny?
Okay, Men in Black.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Does it matter is the correct answer. Does it matter? Because that's technically other beings' problems. That is not mine, so it is not my concern.
I did like how they did that in Men in Black. That was pretty cool.
That was really awesome.
I'd rather whenever Kate kicked open the locker door and you notice that we're all just in a locker that's within a marble.
Mm-hmm.
A
Definitely.
box within a box within a box within a box.
That's within a box, that's outside of a box, that's within a box.
That's upside down inside of another box.
Very correct. This is how confusing it is, and this is the basic of 2 and 3.
Yep. A lot of people don't understand.
It's extremely confusing.
It kind of makes you think, you know, like, if we really are that kind of marvel, then that means that we're just some being's toy.
Correct. We are all pawns in this game, if not lesser.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we're super uber powerful.
Think about it. Within this marble, who is the most super uber powerfulest?
Me.
I like the answer, we.
Yes.
We're getting
Here's the question.
I'll be right back.
Shoot, Grandmaster.
Can video games predict the future? Predict events?
No, video games cannot predict events because technically they are the projection of somebody's mind, but they can foretell things that may happen just as predictive programming is.
Okay. Because the reason I'm getting to this question here is that Everyone knows that I'm a gamer, big gamer, and I've got a couple games that can. One of them is Watch Dogs,
Yes.
and I play that every once in a while, and it deals with the CTOS, where it could be to the point where it could spy on you at every different levels, not just through surveillance cameras, not just your phone, but everything else that really makes it hard to even hide from your
Well,
brother.
okay. Watch Dogs is not an old game. It's like 2 years old. So when Watch Dogs came out, like it's obviously taking inspiration for things that have happened in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about games like Snatcher, which came out for the Sega CD, which I don't even know how many of you know what Snatcher is.
I've never heard of it.
I'm with
It's
you.
pretty much. It was like the complete inspiration for Terminator, but
Yeah.
Snatcher had some
Nice
concepts
brainstorm,
and
yeah.
ideas in it.
Don't forget Battlefield 3.
Do what?
Battlefield 3.
But yeah, I mean, like all of a lot of the war games, like Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops had some stuff in it that was pretty cool.
Some of it's based off of reality itself anyway, and things that we
Black
have.
Ops is actually based off a lot of things that actually happened.
Correct.
But especially if you're talking about like, do games predict the future? Not all the time and not always. And it could just be things like, again, like conspiracy theories. Like, okay, Watch Dogs is full of conspiracy theories. People being able to hack into cameras and watch you. Like, really, would they do that? I don't think so. I think it'd be a waste of time. But I wouldn't do it. I think a lot of it is driving off of people's innate ability, just being paranoid. Everyone's usually just paranoid to be.
Well, there's a DLC of it called Bad Blood, where it takes place after the game, where you got a Schuster, who's the guy that Aiden Pierce meets, who built a controller to get into the big old building that's a Vegan shit, and him and the long gray-haired dirty guy, one of them worked for Bloom, and he created some kind of software or something like that to do something. I'm trying to remember. And then you got T-Bone, who caused the some kind of he hacked into what was it Bloom's servers and shit, caused a lot of damage, I guess, and he got off the grid until in Piercetown. And Bloom has hired some fixers to kill these two because they knew about Bloom's nonsense and bullshit. I mean, you're right. It does touch within what's going on today. And
I finally figured out my lighting situation.
Yes, have the light behind you, but not shining directly at the camera.
Yes, I finally figured it out.
That's the trick behind the camera angle also, because if I had it like this, it would really suck.
Yep. So.
Buttons.
On your underwear.
Where are we going?
Solatido.
Crystal,
I don't know, Debbie, where do you want to go with this?
I fear man dear.
Apparently she wants to sing.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? I said, where do you want to go with this?
California Democrats turn on Dianne Feinstein about damn time.
It's not my rodeo anymore.
Who did what, Grandmaster?
There's some Democrats that are turning their back on a few people in their own party and shit.
Here's me.
What the fuck is happening to my system?
It's having a poop.
Dude, my system just went fucking bonkers.
California Democrats turn on Senator Dianne Feinstein in humiliating rebuke by Lara Blaine for YesI'mRight.com. Senator Dianne Feinstein's political relevance, she wasn't dragged down by the opposition. No, her own party rejected her. On Sunday, the California Democratic Party refused to endorse the 84-year-old senator for a fifth term. A meager 37% of the state's delegates supporting her re-election did bid during the party's convention. By contrast, Senate President Kevin DeLeon managed to get 54% of the vote. California Democrats are hungry for new leadership that will fight for California values from the front lines, not equivocate on the sidelines, De Leon said. We all deserve a leader who will take our climate action to Washington and will fight each and every day to protect our human and civil rights, our immigrant families and dreamers, champion universal health care, and create good-paying middle-class jobs. The Democratic Party is in trouble. Liberals are growing sick over the lack of action. President Trump is dominating the White House, and Democrats haven't been able to advance an inch of their agenda. The old guard of party elites are losing popularity. Feinstein is unlikely to be the only Democrat incumbent rebuked by the party during the midterm elections. Feinstein isn't quite out of the game yet. She's backed by multiple donors with deep pockets. Her campaign coffers are stuffed with millions. She has so much seniority, it's hard to give that up, said Delegate Kathy Jorgensen. Critics are frustrated with Feinstein because they don't believe that the senator has done enough to combat President Trump. They're particularly upset about the lack of progress on immigration reform. Modern liberals are obsessed with protecting illegal immigrants. She's obviously a senator in Washington with a very serious day job. Senior Feinstein aide Bill Carrick said defensively, explaining that Feinstein was too busy to worry very much about the party endorsement.
This is what I have to say about that. Boom! Why can't the California officials just take a long walk off of a short pier? Then everyone's problems are fixed.
They will soon.
Hey, you got some short piers in Cali? Come on and get up.
I know. I know, right?
It will happen soon enough.
There's plenty of beers out there. Pick one.
Are up there in age. I mean, some of them almost in their almost in their mid 80s to 90. I mean, shit, let them die off all their office and shit.
Well, it's not like the Democrats are really doing anything anyway.
They need to off themselves.
I mean, even when the Democrats were in power, what did they fucking do to fucking, quote, further their agenda, the, quote, public agenda that they're trying to propagate? You know, job growth for the middle class, all that fucking shit. California's been run by Democrats for the past 15, what was it, nearly 15 years or so?
I can fix the problem in California.
Flush it all away.
Yeah, well, there's that, but there's also, get all the people who are my family members and friends and stuff like that out of California, and then take, just this long row, as long as the San Andreas Fault of dynamite, or C4, yeah, there we go, C4, and put it right down in there with a timed charge, and just boom, make them all go into the ocean. There you go, bye-bye, people.
Flush it all away.
Lex Luthor.
Exactly.
You want to pull a Superman 1.
Hell yeah.
That's what she's talking about. She wants to straight pull a Superman 1 and blow up the fault line.
Here's the funny part. If she's gonna be like,
You know what? I think the thing is with California is they already blatantly ignore federal law. They
Yeah.
well just go fuck off and be their own country because they don't.
But here's the thing, though. You have people who are on SSI, Social Security, retirement, and everything else. If California becomes its own country, we will lose all that. All that.
Yeah, because it's all
I
federal.
don't care. I really don't care at this point.
We're not giving. How would we lose it if we're giving stuff to them? We're giving
If
them all that
California becomes its
SSA.
own country,
California operates like its own country. The rest of the world pretty much just looks at America and sees California. They don't see everyone else.
Right?
See California really. They just see like companies like Tesla and SpaceX and NASA. They see like
The Black Knight.
they see capitalism, but they look at California. They don't look at other businesses that have come in and made capitalism what it is. They always look at California. They always look at these very specific, generalized policies that California likes to initiate that have nothing to do with the rest of the country. Very specific to California. And the little enlightened fucking shroom-taking yoga mat stealing little fuckheads that live there.
Yeah, the fart sniffing recyclers.
Yeah, no, it's like it's very specific shit that California does. And again, like I said, ignoring federal law. Like here's a really novel idea some people seem to ignore. Gun laws aren't going to affect people who don't follow the law.
Exactly.
Making it harder for good people to get their hands on guns. You're not making it any more difficult for bad guys to get guns.
Well, and whether you're making it more difficult for
because bad guys don't care
to get
about
mad.
laws, man. They don't care about. All I care
They
about
don't
is
care about laws. Why would you ever enact gun laws? It doesn't matter. The guns are already out there. The only thing you can do is arm the public.
here's the thing.
Well, see, guns don't shoot people. People shoot people.
Yeah, no, people kill people.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you wanted to do damage, if you wanted to be an evil little asshole, you could do it with like a fucking, pull back, rifle. I mean, like, you do it with a fucking Nerf gun, okay? Like, you could do it with a rock. You do it with a pistol. It doesn't
A
matter
rock,
what you
a
do.
bat, a knife, a hammer, a sledgehammer, a car,
I can make this bottle.
Bro,
Just
some
water
a brick, someone's
Are we playing who's the better killer?
a whole chicken.
Are we playing who's the better killer?
I just go John Wick and grab a pencil, alright? Like,
No, a pin cap is less than a pencil, brother.
I don't care. It is.
Who's the better killer?
Back in 1902, there was an act called the Militia Act. All
The Militia Act is the Second Amendment.
Yeah, no gun control law can ever be in effect because that law cannot be repealed.
No, listen, and this is why, the founding fathers put the Second Amendment in there. It was not because yay guns. It was because, we just got done fighting a tyrannical government that wanted to disarm us. We should probably not be dicks and give the people weapons, so if we ever try to do that, they can fight us.
Thank you, Israel.
Because they
That is
fear
a reiteration
power.
of George Washington's words.
He
Just in
literally
case
said
the government becomes oppressive, it's our duty is to rise up and go up against the oppressive government and throw out the tyrants.
People ought to take it. Exactly as he
America
said.
is not a place. It's a concept. It's ideas. It's liberty. It's freedom. It's having a way to fight back. It's sticking up for little guys. And yeah, we fuck up sometimes. Every country does. But at least we try to make up for it and we admit our mistakes.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to find a country that's done what America does, and there probably isn't one that exists.
Well, starting
People who
in any other country is also a bad one to tally, but still.
Well,
And this is the thing, when they say, why are Americans fighting with each other? Why is there a civil war? Well, it's because one side is right and the other is wrong. You don't disarm the public. You don't try to rewrite the Second Amendment. You don't try and take people's weapons who are specifically given them so that people don't try to take them from them. It's not what you do. It's not why the Second Amendment was written. You also don't try to censor people. That's the First Amendment. You know how many fucking core values of America that the liberals are trying to destroy? They're not going after specific things. They're going after the fundamentals of America. The core.
I have a question about the amendments. I understand that we have the right to say whatever the hell we want, and I understand that we have the right to arm ourselves. But technically, is there any amendment that states that we're allowed to do actions a certain way? Because the First Amendment only speaks of your mouth.
Well, I mean, there's laws.
Okay, so that explains that and makes that work.
Yeah, like you
just
can't.
For the general public who wasn't paying attention to what we're talking about here.
Like, okay, when the amendments were written, it was as generalizations. You can have guns. That doesn't mean everyone can have a gun. Not everyone can. Not everyone can go and get a gun. There's laws, there's reasons why someone shouldn't have a gun. And just like the First Amendment, there are some laws that are reasonably in place that stop, like you can't just go out and
You can't go out and
Well, that was attractive.
Glad that was not a fart.
I'm glad. I'm happy about that.
Okay.
You can't go out, like bullying is one of those things, like, you can't just go and bully people. That's a First Amendment law.
I hate bullies.
Yeah, but again, the line becomes blurred, because now we have things that the Founding Fathers didn't have. We have bigger schools, we have more people, we have the internet. The internet's the worst thing, because on the internet, everything's run by corporations, so corporations get to choose what's bullying and what's not. Like, sometimes they cross the line, sometimes they don't even go near the line. So it's kind of weird, because some sites you can go on there and say whatever the fuck you want, like 4chan, and then some sites like Twitter where you get banned for saying something negative about the guy at the fucking school. I mean, there's lines, and they're not really definitive on the internet. And in an age where everyone uses the internet, it becomes increasingly more difficult to regulate something like the First Amendment. The Second Amendment's pretty much just there. Yes, you can go buy a gun online illegally, but then you're just restating the point that gun laws don't work. So,
correct.
I mean,
just like you can buy a sterile weed plant online, and it can legally be in your house.
And it doesn't make it any less illegal. It doesn't make it any less right. It doesn't mean that the Second Amendment lets me have guns. Like, no. We have laws, follow them, and then you can exercise your Second Amendment. But the First Amendment's the one that we're having issues with now, more than the gun issue. The gun issue, I don't really think the gun issue is going to be a thing unless Trump goes ahead with this very stupid
Guns don't kill people. Husbands who come home early do.
Unless Trump goes ahead with this whole thing where it's like, hey, we can take the guns, due process later. That's a dumb idea. Why did you ever put that in their heads, Trump? But okay.
Yeah, that was kind of an open mouth insert foot moment for him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why did you say shit? It's like saying oh, shotguns do more damage than assault rifles. Why did you say that? Now they want the shotguns, It's like.
Oh, I know a lot of wives are gonna be freaking widows pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's lines, and the lines get thinner as the years go on, because weapons get bigger, the internet exists, things happen that make us rethink our
There's a channel here called 6 Hex and Hammer 666. His one channel says here, he thinks that all the Russian tanks in the war was all coordinated and shit.
Think what?
He's saying here that he thinks that all the attacks on InfoWars were all coordinated.
Yeah, no, of course they were.
I thought probably
that's their whole plan. They want to silence InfoWars. They want to silence anyone who has a conservative or libertarian point of view. They don't really care about you. They don't really care what you have to say. It's not something they want you to say, so therefore you cannot say it. It's it is very yeah, it is very specific. It's very it is very coordinated. It's very intentional. If there was any doubt that it wasn't intentional, like I don't know what else people need to see that this is a real thing that's happening. Like I know, like Alex Jones.
Could all this be leading to the new Cold War and shit?
We're already there, but
Maybe.
I think
We're already in a Cold War. It's the Cold War of information.
yeah, it's like this information.
Don't
war.
push the
It's
red
the
button!
info war.
Which
So-
red button? The one that says self-destruct?
Yes, push that button.
Like that's my favorite button. I just
It's like that video of Trump. It's like, I'm bored. Ooh, a butt?
button.
Don't push the button! What? No!
Watch out, Mr. North Korea.
No!
My button is bigger
When I
and worse.
was growing up as a kid, and I heard of the Cold War, in my mind as a kid, I thought, why are they waging war on Frosty the Snowman?
Yes!
Thing. Well,
That
my
would be
thought
a
was
child's
when I heard
logic.
Cold War, I was like, why are? Well,
Was it
when
cold
I was a
outside?
kid, no, my thought was, why are we fighting with ice cubes?
No,
And then when I
hear the
was-
term Cold War, and I think when it's cold outside, it's so cold outside. Like, you ever seen that meme with Sub-Zero and you go, it's so fucking cold outside that the second I stepped on my front porch, I had to fight this motherfucker.
Cigarette is not important when it's cold outside. When you can see your own breath, it's time to get back flick in the house.
Oh no.
Hey,
I
I
have-
got a problem with the cold. I mean, I like the cold, but just as long as my balls don't freeze. Oh, crap, man.
I have been out in like, I think it was like negative 10 degree weather just so I could have a cigarette. You don't come.
You were going, this ain't freaking that important.
At which point I'm like,
it was-
fuck you, I'm not going outside, I'm smoking in the fucking bathroom.
Nope.
Open the window.
You don't. Nothing comes between me and my cigarette. Nothing.
Exactly. I'll be like, fuck you, I'm not going outside, I'm smoking in the bathroom.
No, I'll go
Glad I don't
outside.
smoke.
Do
Also,
like that
I can
auntie
drink.
did in Mama Medea's Big Happy Family.
I just like to state, if you're a professional smoker and you have your cigarette of choice, you can smoke it in 90 seconds if you wanted to.
Then I am by any
Yeah, but-
means not a
You
professional.
probably tried it, didn't you, Zero?
I've done it before.
See?
Dude, I was sitting in the parking lot at the doctor's office, and I was in the car for like 10 minutes, and I swear this woman went through like 30 cigarettes. Like,
Wow.
she was just back to back to back to back, and I was like, she has cancer. She has to. Like,
Come in. I've come to steal.
Maybe she thought that shit about waffles.
yeah, like, no, she was like just sitting out there.
We're talking about
And
cigarettes.
she
guys
really-
talking about
Please.
fucking
The pack was empty. It had to be empty. Like, the pack had, like, she was just another,
Love you,
like, it
bye.
was just, it was constant. Like, my friends are chain smokers. This lady was like,
He
legendary.
used to cheat.
it was,
It was
she had a
legendary.
superpower. Like,
I've
It
had to
was-
smoke a cigarette. I've had to smoke a cigarette in like 90 seconds, like Zero said, because once after I became a mom, I only had that many seconds before my son started crying.
smoke a cigarette in 90 seconds.
Yep.
And they look kind of like this because they get nastier the farther you burn down.
Mm-hmm.
And me,
I
I make a
smoke.
very bad parent because I let my child cry until I'm done my cigarette.
Well,
You
at least
shut
not
up.
a fart.
And let me finish this.
My son had a high-pitched voice that could shatter glass. So if I let him scream, if I let him cry, I would never have any windows. Squeak!
Oh,
I'll be like, I'll replace the windows
I'll have
later.
a
Nothing is
window
coming between me and this cigarette.
It's kind of
Bulletproof
hard to
windows.
it's kind of hard to replace the windows when you don't have any money to replace them ever.
Well, my fart can burn down a bonfire.
Mm.
Well,
This
great.
is
Now we're
superpowers,
talking about
though.
bodily functions.
Does this
This
really
one-
I
surprise
have
you,
a
Jimmy?
vision the cat thing, but
Does this really
Really
fucking
like-
surprise you?
When
It's
are we
not,
not
as
talking
long
about
as it's not
something?
coming from you, Spike, I'm fine.
Well, it's not
When
like
are we
I'm
not
within
talking about
smelling
something
distance.
provocative?
You don't
Not very
you don't live
provocative,
with me,
just
you don't
fucking
work with
nasty.
me, you ain't gotta smell my ass gas.
I can tell you
Where
when
else
you
would
guys
your
don't
gas
talk
be
about
coming
something
from?
provocative. I can tell you guys when you don't talk about something provocative.
When we're actually making a point?
Well, there's that, and there's also when I'm not around.
Hmm.
I bet there's
Yeah.
video of that, too.
Yeah.
Sir Tin
I bet
Man,
there's
you have
video
the
of that
floor.
for proof.
Sir Tin Man, you have the floor.
Just because you opened that door, Genevieve, shows your tits.
Hmm.
See, you
It's a
deliberately
requirement.
opened that door.
Any guys others.
Over my cold, dead body.
That can be arranged.
Thank you for taking the
Please
words out
do
of my
so.
mouth.
Can I witness the death?
This
Can
is
I be
bad
a
talk.
witness to that death?
Chill.
Don't kill Genevieve.
Chill. I need
She's
to
more
chill.
fuckable alive.
I mean, if we're gonna kill anyone,
Can we at least play with a
No,
toy
the
that'll
dog's
die
under
more
my
than
bed
once?
again.
I was just gonna say she's probably in your room under the bed. Come here, Mama. Look at, I got food. I got food. Come on. Go over there.
Now we're on the subject of who wants to die. We was on the subject of who's the best killer. Now we're on the subject of who wants to die.
who wants to die? That's a good question. Who's afraid of death?
The second question is who can actually survive more than a single death?
Nobody.
I did.
I can survive 100 deaths. Like, no, let's not do that, okay? Because that's retarded. Okay, if I put a gun to your head, I pull the trigger, you're dead. Okay.
Well, we
Unless
did
I
have a
die.
roundtable discussion about this before, but
I've died 2 times already.
Once.
Well,
it's great to have you back.
The first time coming back wasn't all that great.
this is not a one-up contest, but I've forgot to count after about 20. I stopped counting. Because I've actually
might
asked
want to
other people
reevaluate
to.
your life and the things that you are doing, because if you're dying that much, you might want to reevaluate your actions.
Don't worry, I
You're
have.
like, okay, I need to stop doing these things because I keep dying.
yeah, like, no.
I'm
You're
eventually gonna run
out.
out of lives like a fucking video
Yeah,
game.
you're gonna run out of luck at some point.
I'm gonna run out of quarters eventually!
Yeah, and we're nearly that point. Don't worry. I'm being conservative now. I've learned over the past 4 years.
Alright, well, I gotta go, you guys. It's 10:15 my time, so I gotta go. Bed.
Yeah, I think we pretty well ran our
All
course
right,
with
darling.
this whole nonsense. So I'm
Good
gonna call it
night.
a night myself.
Good night.
So we'll go ahead and call it. Thank you, Genevieve. Everyone. And this has been the Tin Man with the Resistance, your Revolutionary Roundtable. If you're watching this, still, I am very impressed. You are truly the Resistance. Good night.
Aye.